Hey everybody, it's Lisa Sherman, and I'm going to show you a really quick and effective abdominal workout. Now, with this in mind, there are lots of things that we can always do, and I'm gonna continue kind of filming some different segments, real quick segments. Yes, this is Boo Boo. Boo Boo always seems to be in the video. You could use a big ball, which will be a whole nother video, okay? You can use a smaller ball, which will be yet another video. This is a weighted ball. But for today, what I want to do is work with bands around the bar and some just, basic, back to basic, old school abdominal work, both supine and prone. So before we even start this, what's really important is that you have to understand how the abdominal works. I mean, what is it? Why is it? Why do you always work on it? Does anything that we do really make a difference? Of course, it all does. But let's talk about definition, okay? People always want to have these, defined abdominals, and I mean, some people are blessed with it, and some people aren't. It's just the way it is, and bodies are different. In general, Definition is a state where a muscle, through work, has been aesthetically shaped, all right? But the body fat has to be low enough around that muscle so that the definition can show, all right? So it really always comes down to that, aerobic work and trying to keep the body fat low so that any work that you do throughout your whole body, that definition can show more. Okay, that's that. Now, as far as the abdominal muscle, I'm not going to bore you with a big anatomical breakdown of what's going on, but in general, it's important that you know that, and don't worry, I'm not going to freak anybody out here. The abdominal muscle, it's going to start like in the pubic area, right? It's going to go back to where the sternum is, and then you've got like these three sheaths. Okay, and it's all connected with by that linea alba. It's a long muscle. Those three sheaths are separated by tendons and other sheaths within the abdominal wall, and then you've got your internal, external obliques. Your internal obliques are your same side rotators. Good way of thinking about it. It's like I'm a little teapot muscle movers, if you will. Then you've got your external obliques, and they're going to cross that midline. It's going to cross the midline. Now, the abdominal wall in general, its job is to flex the spine, while you've got the erector spinae group that's going to extend the spine. And all, in total, that's your trunk, okay? Then you've got that transverse abdominis muscle that is a horizontal muscle. Now, that's going to be activated when you cough. That's going to be activated when you go to the bathroom, when you laugh. Laughter is a beautiful way to work the abdominal wall. Now, in general, sometimes you hear people talk about the lower abdominals and upper abdominals. Let me give you a little bit of advice here. There's no upper and lower. There's no separation. There is one muscle, okay, as I just gave you that overview, and the muscles work together. However, muscles in general have insertions, and muscles have origins, attachments, okay? Origins and attachments are the same thing. So the insertion of the abdominal wall, if you will, is going to be by that pubic area. The attachment is going to be by that sternum. So it depends how you're activating your movement, which will be dependent on where you feel the abdominal pull. So when someone's saying or mentioning or talking about working the lower abdominals, there's no crazy brand new separate never knew before muscle that's a lower abdominal muscle. There's no new anatomy there. It just means that, for instance, there are lots of ways of activating it. If Boo Boo would get out of the way, but in general, if you're going to activate that lower fiber pull, you're going to be working Boo Boo. you're gonna end up working, for instance, if you bring the insertion. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but I was bringing my insertion towards the origin towards the insertion. I was bringing the pubic bone towards the sternum. So I'm going to feel in that lower area where if I'm doing an abdominal curl, which we're all used to doing, and I'm lifting up my shoulders, well then I'm going to bring that insertion towards the origin, the sternum towards the pubic bone. Okay, so hopefully that gives you like a better idea that when you're in classes or people are talking to you, they're like, oh man, I'm really, we're going to work our lower abdominal. Well, I hope that you now understand, and you hope that your teacher understands, that there's nothing brand new down there. It's just how you activate the muscle in general, where and why you're going to feel the abdominal work in that area, either underneath like that, by your ribs, or lower down. So that's that. So today, we're just going to do, I want to show you a few different options, okay? So we can work the entire trunk, all right? Now, what I'm doing today is that, this cat, this beautiful cat just always wants to be in all my stuff. So, I should call these the boo-boo workouts, right? Anyway, I'm using a band, okay? Now that's me today. If you have something great, it would be helpful. You don't always have to have a bar, but let's just say for purposes today, you can always fast forward this and do the other parts of the workout if you want to, but I'm using a band. And I'm gonna work my entire core, and I'm going to do it while I'm lying on my back. So this is great for individuals who sometimes have issues with their neck, for instance, and they don't want to do abdominal curls because they end up doing chin-ups anyway. So this is always helpful if you can follow this routine. I have something I'm going to put under my head, okay? Now this is always helpful for different people if they have scoliotic issues or kyphotic issues and all that. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Kyphosis, lordosis, these are different spinal issues. Anyway, so I'm going to lay down and rest my head. I'm going to grab these bands. Now the really neat thing about this is that you can work triceps while you're here, you can work your posterior deltoids while you're here, you can activate your lats while you're here. It's a beautiful thing. It's a full body workout. So you can use this, you can use a Dynaband, whatever you use, make sure that you always keep a resistance on that band. And also try to not hyperextend or hyperflex your wrist. Try to always keep your wrist in a pretty straight position. So I'm going to start with my feet are on the ground. I know you can't really see it, but my feet are on the ground. My knees are relaxed, and every vertebrae is on the ground. So I have a slight, what's called a slight pelvic tilt. In other words, I'm bringing my pubic bone into the floor towards my belly button. I'm going to take these bands and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to go straight down. And when I go straight down, I feel the activation already in my trunk. So this could be like a level 1. And I bring the bands up just a little, never let go of that resistance, and I'm going to do it again. So there's really not too much happening in the camera, but there's a lot happening within my trunk. I'm breathing out on exertion, pressing my spine down, and then taking a nice big breath in as the band goes halfway up. Now I would do this a bunch of times. Well, actually, let's talk about that. You shouldn't have to do this more than 15 times. If you do, you're not either getting enough resistance or you're not far enough away from the wall. Now you can have a band or whatever against a bedpost or a stairwell or whatever it is. I don't know what you've got in your house, but you want to make sure that if there's enough pull so that when I'm now going to bring up my legs, now I'm going to bend my knees. My knees are like right above my hips and my toes are slightly above my knees. Now, I'm going to lift up my band so I have a resistance, press my trunk into the floor, my spine. I'm going to bring my heels down. So I told class today that I wanted them to think that, God forbid, but that their legs are in a cast. And the legs themselves, the knees, could not change their flexion, and that they were only moving by the articulation in their hip. So I have a complete contraction going on right now. As my arms are going slightly up, I'm bringing my heels down to the ground while I'm pressing my spine into the floor. Complete contraction. Beautiful thing. And I would do this about 15 times perhaps. You want to make this into a circuit and do lots of different exercises. That's up to you. I am now going to show you something different. I'm going to bring my legs up. All right, now you make flex point, it doesn't matter. But I am going to drop my right leg halfway down. Okay, if your spine's coming off the ground, then you don't drop the leg as low. My right leg is halfway down. My left hand is going to stay on the ground. My right arm is going to be going towards my left foot, like an elliptical. And now I'm going to switch. And now I'm going to switch. Boo-boo. And I'm going to continue moving. Always having a resistance in the band. I feel this in my tricep, my trunk. I feel it everywhere. It's a really great full back, boo-boo. Full trunk workout. Okay? And this is what I would do for quite a while, depending on your endurance level and what your goals are. I'm now going to put my feet down. I know I mentioned before you can work your triceps. Yes, my elbows are on the ground, although you can't see so well. My pelvis is slightly tilted, and I'm going to just extend my elbows. That's what I meant about the tricep workout. It's a great thing. Okay? And I would do that quite a few times. Now, so we've now done that. Next, I'm going to bring my thighs in, and I'm going to rock and roll. I'm going to sit up. Now, boo head. I'm going to flip around. Wow, this is like really not a good hair day. Okay, I'm going to flip around, and so my back is going to be towards you. Or yeah, you're going to get my back. This position, I'm going to have my feet against the wall, and I'm going to take the bands, and I'm going to, instead of having my trunk in a stabilized position, okay, elongated position, I'm now going to flex and flex my spine. Now, here's the thing. This is an unsupported neck exercise, so if this isn't good for you, then don't do it. It's really very simple. But just so you understand, I'm going to use a imagery of like a carpet. If you had a roll of carpet, all right, and you wanted to roll the carpet out and roll it back, you don't want any little air pockets underneath, right? You want it really flat, and that's how you're going to think of your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Okay, so I'm going to use the band again. Love the band. Love the bands. It's called variable resistance. I have a whole workshop on that. Actually, I have a lot of workshops on all kinds of things. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so my feet are against the wall, and and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to pull away. Now I'm rounding my spine. Bring my elbows down, okay? I'm going to bring my hands towards my chest. And I do hope you can see this. I bet you can. And I'm going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Now, I am allowing myself to extend. And then when I curl up, I'm dropping my chin, and I'm going to curl up, and I'm bringing like the front of the band right to like the top of my head. So I have a point of call. Now, my elbows are going to extend as I extend my spine. I'm dropping my chin, flexing my elbows, curling my spine, and coming in. So, it's down for 2, or whatever you want to do, down for 4, use your own counts, and curling up. great exercise. Now, I can also do this with 2 arms, so I can also get a really nice bicep curl and contraction. Same idea. You gotta make sure that you allow your spine to extend, just like you're rolling out a carpet and curling in. Okay, I'm gonna flip around now and just give you an idea of what I meant about the internal, external obliques. I mean, come on guys, there are a million ways we can do this, but today this is what I got. This is what I'm showing you. It's easy, it's basic, you know, all that. So, if I lay down, what I'm gonna do, boo-boo, you little cutie, she's a little film star. She's a film star. So, the trick here is that I'm gonna take my legs. I know it's hard for you guys to see, but you can hear what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep my feet together and I'm going to open up my thighs. Now, when I open up my thighs, that's gonna kind of disengage those hip flexors so that they can't get involved. We don't want those hip flexors involved. We really don't. Now, I'm going to press my spine into the ground like, you know, someone's standing on top of my belly. What would I do? I would protect myself, but I would protect my spine. So my heels are together, my hands are intertwined, my elbows are wide, my thumbs are like against my neck and chin, so I can rest my head against my hands. It's pretty cool. It's pretty comfortable too. What I find is very effective, especially without those hip flexors being engaged. I have Boo Boo right next to me. That's really cool. So I'm going to curl up. That's just whatever count you want. So I'm engaged, all right? My rectus abdominis is engaged. Now, I'm going to do that internal oblique. I'm a little teapot. I'm going to bring my spine towards whatever side. I'm going to come up center and go halfway down. So I'm going to go 1 to the other side, rotate 2, come back center 3, relax, but never, I mean, resist down, but never let go of your contraction. So it'll be 1, rotate, curl up, resist down, curl up, rotate, resist up, resist down. So I'm pressing my spine against the floor, rotating. Notice my neck is not moving. Make pretend you have a cast on your neck and you cannot move, or a neck brace. So there is really good basic so that you can see internal oblique. The trick is curling up first. Now, I would do that a bunch of times. Now I'm going to curl up. I'm going to rotate across, curl up, and halfway down. It's up. Rotate across. Now what happens is that people end up collapsing. You don't want to collapse. Nothing really changes. It's just your body moving in a different way. That's it. It's rotate across the body. This is your external rotations, and rotate, curl up. I'm going to grab my thighs, rock and roll. And for today, on a really bad hair day, Boo Boo and I say, how cool was that? You can do all those different exercises. You can also, you've learned about the abdominals, how they work. She's waving, that's so cool. Anyway, you can reach me, LisaShermanFitness@gmail.com or vocalfit46@gmail.com. Got lots of workshops, got lots of ideas, got lots of things going on, and keep moving.